had a career.
Every loss, the weight of every loss will dramatically change the season.
Listening to the Sportz Nutz.
What is going on, everybody? Yes, you are listening to the Sportz Nutz. This is a special election day episode. No, we're not talking politics, y'all. There's enough of that going on TV right now, so we don't need to continue on here. We're here to talk some quality sports. Guys, I'm so excited about this episode. Why? Because there has been a lot of news going on in the sports world as we come to you tonight. I am Brandon. Yes, this man that's sitting over here, he is here, but he is currently doing some things, but he will be in and out. I promise you folks, he is here. With that being said, this is episode 52. My goodness, folks. Unbelievable that we have made it to just outside of 100 episodes, guys. We're at like total videos, I think like 93. So we're really moving along, and I'm really proud of everything that's going on with everybody. Keep it going. All right, guys. So, if you have not heard in the sports world, today was the NFL trade deadline, right? That was a big move going on. A lot of moves that went on. So then also, folks, in case you kind of were living under a rock, per se, college football had a little interesting run over the weekend. Hey, guys, also, Joel Embiid has been suspended. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. Guys, we officially know the outcome of Shohei Ohtani. And it's kind of grim looking for what has really transpired with him. So, we're kind of shocked about it. Hey, how about this? There was a soccer match in Peru. A player was actually killed by a natural disaster. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that as well. That's kind of crazy to say. Hey, we do have hockey going on. Maybe we'll talk some good hockey tonight. Obviously everybody knows my team is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are about to drop the puck in St. Louis. That's going to be a good match. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Guys, we also want to quickly mention the fact that baseball still has some other news going on. And what is that? Our man, Chris Sale, received his first gold glove in his entire career. That the next stop to go for him will be the Cy Young, which will be decided soon. So we're looking forward to that. Guys, before we go any further, we do want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Tequila's Grill and Easily. Look, guys, holiday season is literally knocking on the door. In case you can't miss what's right behind, there's that, and then the beautiful tree behind me. Holiday season is literally knocking on the door. And if you want to have your corporate events or family outings to go to Tequila's Grill, go ahead, give them a call, because I promise you guys, it's some of the freshest, most delicious, authentic Mexican cuisine you will ever have. 864-307-8028. Better yet, stop on by 5155 Calhoun Memorial Highway. That's Easley, South Carolina, 29640. That's Tequila's Grill and Easley. And remember, you can even book them for any event, actually. Birthdays, holidays, corporate events, they got you. All right, guys, let's get started, shall we? I know many of you guys are taking a look right now at the election results. That's perfectly fine. Where we may have a condensed episode tonight. Obviously, it's very important what's going on in the world of politics. We're not going to get into them here because, guys, we don't talk about that kind of stuff here. So we want to bring some excitement for you. All right, so how about this, folks? Shohei Ohtani. Guys, if you don't remember, he had a separated shoulder. Technically, it was a dislocated shoulder. However, If you didn't watch the remaining bit of the World Series, every time he was up to bat, he had his arm like that. He underwent shoulder surgery today to repair a labrum tear that he sustained during the World Series. They say that they expect him to be at 100% come spring training, but obviously, he is coming off of Tommy John. Now he's talking about shoulder surgery from a dislocation. I don't know how I really feel about this. Obviously, Matt, it's hard to hear this, but look, Shohei Ohtani, he's a great player. He absolutely is a great player. However, he's hurt a lot. I mean, if I want you guys to seriously ask yourself this question: Shohei Ohtani, great player. Would you want to risk paying him $500 million for the risk or possibility of him having another issue, whether it be another Tommy John surgery, separated shoulder, a broken leg, whatever the case may be? It's just too cautious to worry about. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't pay him. No, the man's an electric athlete, but I wouldn't pay him the $500 million that the LA Dodgers have paid him. I'd probably pay him like $250, $260. That's just my thoughts on that one. If you want to chime in on the stream, for those who are watching, would you pay Shohei Ohtani knowing what we now know, that he has a shoulder issue, and also he's coming off of Tommy John? Would you pay him the $500 million, or would you just do like $280, $290, $300? Let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate that. All right. Also, I want to bid adieu. Say thank you so much to Travis d'Arnaud. He did fantastic things for the state of Georgia, for the city of Atlanta, for the Atlanta Braves organization as a whole. Unfortunately, he is no longer an Atlanta Brave. Now, he can still come back. However, it is a smaller amount of money per se. And obviously, it's sad to say goodbye to him, because he's done so good. He was always Mr. Reliable with regards to the baseball. But I mean, I kind of understand what they're doing. Obviously, Matt, you can kind of understand this too. Sean Murphy is the future, right? I mean, they're banking on Murph being the answer for the Atlanta Braves. So it is kind of hard to have, you have Sean Murphy, you paying $100 million. Travis d'Arnaud, you're paying what, $6, $7, $8, $9 million. Who you want to start more? You want to bank on Murph. Am I right?
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
All right. So see, folks, it's sad. It really is. I hate saying about it, Travis d'Arnaud, but it's okay. He's done a lot. He can still come back. Remember, folks, he can still come back. It would probably be for like a $2 or $3 million year deal. That's okay. But just want to say that it is sad to see him go. Look, Matt, that's going to break my heart to say this too. The Atlanta Braves, they did tender a qualifying offer to Max Fried, but you know what he's going to do, right?
What do you think he's going to do? I think he's going to test. I think he's going to test the market.
I think he's going to, he's a California boy, I think is what I heard.
Yeah.
I think he will. I think he's going to, ignore the tender offer, because it's like $21 million. I talked to our good friend Nick Shalini over at 680 The Fan actually yesterday. And Matt, I asked him, I said, ESPN, they're projecting that Max Fried is between $230 and $310 million deal. He said it's insanely high, yes, but that is actually extremely accurate. He would put it at 99% accuracy. That's the amount he's going to get. He said more likely than the money he will get is between $280 and $290, and he's rightfully deserving of it. He's a phenomenal player, but there's only one player on Atlanta right now that gets paid over $200 million a year, right?
Only one. I think they've done a great job, man, as far as allocating their contracts and dealing with the contract situation. I think they've done a great job. Who would that one player be?
Austin Riley. Austin Riley signed a
Of course,
$238 million deal, and Austin
of
Riley is
course.
the face of the franchise. Folks, if you don't remember who the last third baseman was, first off, where have you been? I'm 40 years old. I remember every Braves player pretty much in my growing up, and the one that I remember the most is Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones was the career-long Atlanta Brave. So Austin Riley, he's a great player, very well deserving. However, Alex Anthopoulos needs to open the checkbook. He needs to really do it. Shoot, go ahead and give Max Fried the $280 million over 10 years. That's $28 million a year. You're okay. Front load the contract, or heck, even back load the contract, so you still have cap space to get what you need, because they did say they were going to focus on the bats this offseason, but Fried is a touted free agent. And Matt, you know what's going on with LA. We will forever love the number 5
Exactly.
in the city of Atlanta, because Freddie Freeman was a legend for the Braves, and look at what he did. World Series MVP, and he wins his second World Series, which personally, man, I'm going to go ahead and say that qualifies him to be a Hall of Famer. What do you think?
Oh, first ballot without any kind of form of hesitation. Freddie Freeman will be going in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there, I'm excited to see what's going to happen this offseason, because they did fire 4 important coaches who were not cutting it for Atlanta. So we'll see who they bring on. All right, so Matt, I want to ask you, do you know what the important day today is, besides other than election day, but for NFL standards? What is one of the most important days in NFL history, NFL seasons right now?
How to be the trade deadline?
That's right. Did you happen to see what the Washington Commanders did with the New Orleans Saints?
I did not, man. I've been kind of running around on 100% all day, man. Well, please tell me some news that is beneficial for us.
Marshawn Lattimore, folks. He is
They
on
traded
his way
Marshawn
to the
Lattimore.
Commanders. Yep. And you ready to hear what the Saints got in return?
Yeah, what did they get in return? Wow.
First off, Washington has agreed to pay 100% of Lattimore's remaining contract. Which, by the way, folks, if you don't know what that means, he was on record on the books for $31.6 million next year. So Washington has said, I'll take that. However, let's go ahead and laugh at this one, because Washington gave New Orleans Saints 3 draft picks for the 2025 draft. They gave a 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounder, and opportunities for a conditional 7th rounder, pending how they finished the Washington Commanders finished the season. So it's kind of crazy to think that, right? That the Saints, they're imploding. Look, they absolutely are. You saw what happened.
Well,
And then folks, I want you guys to know this too. I texted Matt Sunday morning and I said, I guarantee you, if the Saints were to lose to the Panthers, Dennis Allen's getting the pink slip either that night, Sunday night, or Monday morning. And he said, you're probably right. And I said, no, I know I'm right. And what happens?
didn't even make the flight home.
Nope. They said, don't even come home. They said, don't even come home. Stay here, because you're not part of the organization anymore. They fired Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is no longer the head football coach of the New Orleans Saints. So, folks, the Saints, they're imploding. Which, guys, if you see what I'm wearing, look, I'm wearing my Atlanta Falcons uniform right now. Like my uniform, excuse me. My hoodie for them, right? I'm a diehard Falcons fan. Everybody knows that. And if you don't know that, I'm sorry. You've missed a lot in the time we've been together here. So I'm a diehard Falcons fan. Matt is a diehard Falcons fan too, as well. And we're going to go ahead and laugh because, guys, I know you guys probably are too young to remember this, but back in the day, it was you were guaranteed 2 Falcons games and guaranteed 2 New Orleans Saints games. Sometimes you were guaranteed 3 and maybe even 4. And I'll tell you who they were. So the 2 you were guaranteed no matter what on TV every year. Matt, who were they?
You had as far as going back in the day, or as far as
Back in
now?
the day. What were the
Back
two
in the
games
day,
you were guaranteed back in the day on TV?
oh man, for the Falcons.
Yes.
Well, you had Falcons and Saints. You also had the Falcons and Rams.
Yep. Falcons and Saints, you were guaranteed every single year 2 games. And sometimes you were guaranteed 4. And what they is the Falcons, Saints, and Matt just said Falcons and Rams. Because, folks, if you don't know this, the Falcons' other major rival is not the 49ers, is not the Cowboys, is not the Panthers or the Buccaneers. No, it's actually the Rams. Back then, they were the St. Louis Rams. Remember the folks. They had the greatest show on turf at one time. So that was the centerpiece there. So I know you fans, you Falcons fans, are extremely excited at the fact that the Saints are older back. Guys, I don't know if you remember this. The Saints and Falcons used to wear paper bags. Fans that wore the paper bags over their faces because they were too ashamed of their team. So hey, we're excited.
Definitely the good old days.
Yes, the good old days. Look, we're excited to see the Saints struggle. Look, obviously it's sad what's going on. They're in Cap Hell. They're in hell altogether. The team is not performing to their abilities, and you just lost to literally a dumpster fire organization right now. It's run by Dave Tepper, who really doesn't have an understanding of what's going on and how to run an organization in the Carolina Panthers. And folks, they listened all the way up until 3:59 today for Bryce Young trade possibilities. God, it's crazy to think that they're the organization, they're very close to giving up on Bryce Young. Excuse me, I gotta cough real quick. Sorry about that. I had a cough, folks. All right, so with that being said, the trade deadline has come and gone. Yes, we saw Marshawn Lattimore go to the Washington Commanders. The Falcons, they had something working with the Giants, but Matt, I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to go, really? The Giants wanted 4 draft picks for one player who was possibly going to be on a 1-season rental because he's a free agent at the end of the year. Do you think? Yes. Look, we all know what's going on with the Falcons pass rushing. We know it 100%. It's dreadful. They have 9 sacks. They got 3 sacks this weekend against the Dallas Cowboys. They really, honestly, should have gotten like 10 because of the amount of pressure they put on Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. But hey, 3 is good, but their pass rush is terrible. Look, the Falcons, they need help. They were going to, they had that chance to get that player from the New York Giants, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm glad we didn't get to. I'm glad we did not pull the trigger. That's 3 draft picks we have. Look, remember, folks, Atlanta, they're already docked a draft selection next year because of tampering. So if you you're looking at, instead of 7, you have 6. You give away 4. You're now looking at, you have 2 draft picks. That's it. That's not what you need. So
which player was that for? Which player were they trying to get?
Oh my God. Let me, you put me on the spot. I have to pull it up here. I texted my friend Chase about it. All right. So it was for Azeez Ojulari was the player that the Falcons were trying to go after. And the Giants wanted 4 draft picks. There ain't no
Falcons
way.
had many chances to draft him a few years back. We had plenty of chances to draft him from UGA.
Yes, let's just not. We're not going to talk about that because we're not seeing some really, actually. Now look, folks, Terry's cooking. He's doing the right things, but the Falcons, they do make some questionable selections, so we'll see. However, I will tell you this, Matt. Did you see the ESPN's latest playoff projections? What they have Atlanta as?
I did not see it. What do they have as?
Atlanta has, after winning against Dallas, they have a 96.8% chance of making the playoffs, which it's phenomenal. Look, I was just telling you before we came on the show, guys. I told Matt this. Our good friend Mike Conti of 92 on the game came back and said Atlanta could go 4-4 the rest of the season, and they would need Tampa to go 7-1, and they could overtake Atlanta for the playoff position, and Carolina would have to go 8-0 in their final 8 games, and also claim the tiebreaker just to get it past Atlanta. New Orleans
I don't see that happening.
cannot do it. No, New Orleans definitely cannot do it. They're pretty much out of the opportunity for the playoff run, you know. All right, so Matt, I want to ask you this. Did you hear what Joel Embiid did to a media member the other night?
I did. I heard he got into an altercation with the member. They said he first came out that he punched them. Then it was cleared up that it was more of like a shove due to what the individual said to Embiid.
Yep. A Philadelphia Inquirer columnist, his name is Marcus Hayes, mentioned something about either his son or his brother or both. It's not, excuse me, it's not really clear which was said, but Joel Embiid shoved him pretty hard and threatened him even more. Look, obviously, anytime anybody brings up a family member, it's hard to understand. But I promise you guys, there's more to the story.
This was a deceased family member. It was a deceased family member.
Yes.
Deceased member of his family.
Yep. And look, folks, obviously, we know it's hard anytime. Marcus Hayes of the Philadelphia Inquirer, and him, they go back. They go quite a bit. And Joel Embiid, he's not really played yet because of injury, and the talk constantly going around town is the fact that he's too fat. He can't keep his weight up, and obviously that puts a little, anytime you hear that chirp, you kind of get agitated with it. So Joel Embiid did not handle himself appropriately. Did not. He did something really stupid. He shoved an individual. He has been suspended for 3 games. He was fined, but it was an undisclosed amount. I'm sure that in the coming days and weeks we may see what the official amount is. But Joel Embiid, you've got to have a cooler head. Look, nobody likes having anybody talk about anybody. It's obviously even worse when it is a family member who has passed away. Anybody will tell you it's hard to hear that, but let cooler heads prevail. Don't lash out yet, because also remember, folks, you yourself, if you are a professional athlete, the spotlight is even brighter on you. So therefore, everything you do is under the microscope, and he let his worst judgment come out. He obviously did something he shouldn't have done. He gets suspended for it. And hey, if you guys didn't know this, Jason Kelce, he too. Matt, did you hear about this? Jason Kelce's little spat he did.
I saw it. And I saw his actual him apologizing for it too on yesterday on Monday Night Football.
Yep. He got into it. He let his hot head get to the best of him. He reacted poorly to a fan, or fans in general, said things he should not have said, and he got in trouble for it. Make better, folks. All we're saying is make better decisions. You are a public figure. You don't have to be an elected official like public figures usually are. You are a public figure because you yourself were the face of a franchise for 13 years. You yourself have all these commercials with your brother about cereal, about anything and everything. Your brother is in a relationship with one of the hottest, not saying like sexual, like hottest woman, but I'm saying like regardless, like one of the hottest performers there are right now in Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's a billionaire. There's a reason she's a billionaire, and Forbes donned her as a billionaire in 2022. So there, your brother has a great like following around him, and you let the judgment get the best of you, and you made poor decisions, and you're paying for it. So just all you got to do, folks, keep cooler heads. It's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. So anyways, all right, guys, let's quickly dive down the college football. Matt, if I were to sit here and tell you we're in week 11 of college football, you would think ain't no way, right?
Yeah, man, it went by so fast, too fast.
It absolutely did. You blink, folks, and I'm going to quote Kenny Chesney, one of the great country singers, Kenny Chesney. Don't blink because things really come faster than you could imagine. It's true. He was referencing it for the kids, but I'm referencing for kids and for sports. It really goes by too fast. Look, we saw a lot of great college games this weekend. Obviously, one in particular that really sits in the minds of many is James Franklin. Matt, James Franklin, who he is, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he is the head coach. Hey, what's up, Chase? My brother is in the house, Chase Cravey. Hey, check them out, guys. If you want some top-notch A+ Falcons content, this man right here, Chase Cravey, Dirty Fanatics United. Him, his brother Philip, my cousin Cody, their good friend Robert. The four of them have one of the absolute best Dirty Bird podcasts you will ever talk. I mean, guys, Chase will break it down to you left and right. So check them out. Dirty Fanatics United. Yes, check them out. All right, so James Franklin, guys, he's got a really bad record against when it matters most against Ohio State, right? I think he's or in general, it's 1-10 overall. And he blew it again against Ohio State. And yeah, I feel so bad for the fans. Matt, I know you're busy, but I want to ask you, did you see what he did to one of his fans?
As far as those players.
So what he did was he lashed out at fans because they're sick and tired of mediocre.
Yes. I saw that one.
And so what does he do? He sits there and asks, "What is your name? What is your name?
Yeah, what is your name?
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and beat up a fan or what?" I'm like make better decisions, James Franklin. I don't think James Franklin is. Let's see. Chase just said, "Let me know a date. We can run a stream. Would like to come on your platform and bring the hey." Chase, I'm totally down for it, man. Let's get it going, folks. All right. So, look, James Franklin, Matt, I'm going to tell you this. He's a great coach. I absolutely think he's a great coach, but he's not the answer Penn State needs. Penn State has been through a lot. The Sandusky issue, losing Joe Paterno. Joe Paterno, was the winningest coach at one time. Was the winningest coach at one time for Penn State. And now that he wasn't, then he's back on again. So, James Franklin, he always gets you enough, right? It's enough to get you there. And then when it comes down to the games that matter the most, what does he do, Matt? He lays a goose egg. He can
a golden goose egg.
Yeah, he can't perform. And it really is can't be, he can't perform. And I feel bad for Penn State. Look, Penn State's a really they're a diehard fanatic base. They live and breathe their fan base, and that is a goal of mine. My stepmom and dad, Penn State people, they said that it's one of the best experiences is to go to Happy Valley. I would love to go to experience that game. So, hopefully Penn State gets another chance. I don't know if they will, but hopefully they do. Oregon, our good friend Matt, our good friend Vince, his Michigan Wolverines, they did not get it going. Oregon, they're 9-0. They have come to say, will the real Big Ten please stand up? Will the Big Ten please stand up? Look, Oregon, everybody was saying, former Pac-12 teams, they were going to struggle. And early on, it looked like it, but it didn't happen. Oregon has come to play. They have the highest probability of grabbing the number 1 overall seed in the college football playoffs. And I couldn't, tip my cap even more than I am now to.
Yeah. Hell of a season.
Absolutely, and look, let's look at the number 2 team real quick. Georgia. Matt, you even said that it's not going to be a close game by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be you said it was going to be a close game. It was going to be tough, neck and neck, through and through. And lo and behold, it was a tough game. Georgia pulled out the victory, and man, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't think Georgia. I think that Georgia doesn't deserve. They're probably going to get it, yes. I don't think they deserve to be in the top 4 when the 12 come out. What do you think?
I think that win they had over Texas changed their season, man. I think prior to that, I didn't think they were going to be a top 5 team. But after the way they manhandled Texas, and it was the way they manhandled Texas. After the way they manhandled Texas, man, I think the committee had no choice. They had no choice. It was either going to be Georgia or Oregon as number 1. And due to Oregon's record and the way they've been playing, you had to put them number 1. But I think Georgia's number 2. I think it's rightfully so. I just don't see another team that's really that can really beat Georgia when they're clicking on all cylinders. But I think
I can see what you're saying,
Oregon.
But I'm still not.
Oregon,
I'm not sold on them. Are you sold on?
I'm not 100% sold on Georgia. Like, it's not like guaranteed they're going to come in and they're going to win like in years past. It's not a guarantee. So I'm not sold on them because at any time, and they've showed that this year, their offense can just sputter. And they were lucky to get out of that last game, but their offense would just sputter, and then that's it. So no, I don't have faith in their offense like that to hand them the trophy. But I think they will be in the mix as always.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, people have spoken. They're upset with the top 25 poll that just came out with AP. Matt, I did a little the week that was this weekend, obviously with the college football and everything went on, and Clemson. They had a 44% chance to be a part of the 12. And what did they do? You lost. You lost. And now, folks, Clemson has, and I hate to break this to you, folks, Clemson has an 8% chance to go to the 12. An 8.
Terrible. What did their ranking fall to? Yeah, what did they fall to in the ranking?
They went from number 11 to number 19.
And then I honestly think they should have been higher.
I do too. Louisville's not a pushover. Louisville's not a pushover. People think they are. And, this is I got a crazy stat to tell you here too, Matt. Up until this weekend, Louisville has never beaten Clemson. Isn't that crazy to think?
That is a crazy stat, man. Even with
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. They never beat Clemson. Wow. So, and then, of course, then you have the other part of South Carolina is Columbia Gamecocks. They up, and here was the weird stat too that I got to share with you, Matt. They put, they have all these quote experts. They put 30 of them on a table, right? Out of those 30, how many do you think projected South Carolina to win?
0.
2.
0. 2, they must have been from South Carolina.
No. One of them, Herbstreit. Herbstreit predicted South Carolina was going to win. Yep. Even though unofficially he said he thought A&M was going to do it because it's A&M. They surprised everybody. He said he really said deep down though he thought South Carolina was going to pull it up, and South Carolina pulled the victory up. Look, Matt, we said this on the show last week. All South Carolina needs to do is utilize their talent. They have a lot of talent on that team, and they will be okay. We're not discrediting any opportunities for them. We know that they are a good team. They just got to perform better, and they did. They beat A&M. They have South Carolina has a very tough game next week, folks. They're playing Vanderbilt, and Matt, Vanderbilt again. I'm gonna harp on this the rest of the year, folks. Odd years, Vandy sucks. Even years, Vandy dominates, folks. It's 2024. It's an even year. Vanderbilt is flat out dominating. So it was a really good weekend for college football. I mean, I was actually pretty impressed with the game. Matt, you even texted me, said there was a lot of upsets. Remember? Oh,
Yeah, that is true, man. That's true. There were a lot of upsets this week, man. A lot of teams came to play. And a lot of teams that had already thought that they were going to coast themselves to a win, and it turned out to be the opposite. So, yeah,
that's right. No,
that's
there was a
time. That's
great.
time of the season here.
That's right, folks. And Matt and I have said multiple times, this is the best time of the year for college football. Matt, I want to ask you, did you see what our boy Jackson Dart did for Ole Miss?
Whew. I saw it, man. I saw it. He put up a lot of points.
515 yards, 25 for 31, 515 yards, 6 touchdowns. Wow. That is an insane number. Tip your cap, folks, to Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, he's a great quarterback. I think he's going to do good things when he goes to the next level. So keep your eye out for him. I really hope, he stays healthy, because when he stays healthy, he's a phenomenal player. He's fast. He's electric. He has a great arm. He has great accuracy, great everything. Then one more game I want to, actually a couple of games, but one game I want to focus real quick on. Iowa State, they were which is weird, there's 2 number 11th ranked teams. Clemson and Iowa State were both number 11. Iowa State, they were heavy favorites against Texas Tech. And guys, it's pouring down rain the entire game. Texas Tech is down, and they win the game with 20 seconds left. Like, that's crazy, man. 50 seconds left. Texas Tech won 23-22. Tip your cap to Texas Tech. They're hanging in tough with some big games. Matt, I know Vince is going to be happy to hear this. Michigan State, they were up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter to Indiana. You're thinking, damn, this is going to be an amazing upset, right? No. What does Indiana do? They go on a 47-0 run, and they win 47-10.
Wow.
That to me shows heart, that shows grit. This Indiana team, I think from what I heard, they've only been 9-0 like 2 other times. And the last time that this happened, actually that was one other time, and that was 1954. Think about it, folks. None of you, anybody watching this podcast, you were not alive the last time that you saw what. Oh, he's all right. So Matt, as you see, Matt's work, guys. That's just a crazy thing to wrap your head around. Kudos I'm tipping my cap to Indiana. They're doing phenomenal things, and we care about them. And hopefully Indiana continues. All right, Matt. So look, hockey started. Obviously, it's one of my favorite sports to watch. We've seen so far teams that are doing really good, teams that are average, and teams that you really got to scratch your head and say, what's going on? Because here's an example, folks. Nashville. Matt, did you happen to know Nashville got one of Tampa Bay's most beloved players of all time, and they have yet to really capitalize with him on that team?
Yes, I do, man. And I think it's gonna take some time, man. It's gonna take some time, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Hopefully, they have a new game plan this year. Hopefully, they can make sure, they utilize all their pieces, and become a cohesive unit.
Absolutely, guys. Look, hockey's fun to watch. If you've never been to a hockey game, I highly encourage you to go. Look, if you're in the upstate of South Carolina, there is a team plays 15 minutes down the road in downtown Greenville at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. They're the ECHL affiliate of the LA Kings. Check them out. High quality, intense playing. You have teams all over. It's electrifying. It's better to see it now. And people will tell you this, it's better to see it in person. than it is to see it on TV. And that's very true. Unless you watch the Vancouver Canucks, because Vancouver, for whatever reason, has invested like oodles and oodles and oodles of money on their camera crew and their camera equipment at the arena. And it's actually really neat to see. Matt, if you get a chance, I want you to go watch a Vancouver Canucks game and you'll see what I mean. And when I talk about it's so clear, you can read the players' names as they're moving. That's how clear their camera equipment is.
Really?
Really, yeah, it's fascinating. I love it. And look, guys, the Winnipeg Jets, Matt, we're not really big fans of them. Why? Because they are the former Atlanta Thrashers. The Jets, though, they're real. They're legit, folks. They played 12 games. Matt, just at a coin toss, how many games do you think the Jets have won out of those 12 games? Oh, you're breaking up. Folks, if you don't know what the answer is, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. The Winnipeg Jets have won 11 out of their 12 games. Yes, they are 11-1. Wow. That's a crazy stat to think like. You've literally played a dozen games, and you've won 11 of them. Like, I don't even know how to think that. But, I mean, it is hockey. Anybody can win at any given time. Utah, the Utah Hockey Club. Matt, they're 5-4-3. That's really good for them because they were really bad when they were the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, it's impressive. So, guys, what we're telling you here now is just if you get a chance, check out hockey. It's a lot of fun to watch. It really, and if you get a chance to go to a game, you really enjoy it. I enjoy every minute of going to a hockey game. So, all right, Matt, I got to ask you this, and I don't know how you're. Oh, Matt is not here. So, I want to ask you guys this. Well, hold on. Oh, he's changing location, so he'll be in just a second. So, guys, but before I won't go to that question until Matt comes on because I want to ask him about it. Just real quick, wanted to let you guys know to make sure, our good friend Chase just said, hit that like button, subscribe at the Sportz Nutz 176 on YouTube. Let's go. Look, guys, we're at 131 subscribers. We literally only need 5 more subscribers to hit a personal goal that we wanted, and we really only need 15 total by year end. It's only November the 5th. We have a good bit of a ways to get it. Let's try and get to that 145 mark, but we only need 5, folks. 5 more subscribers, and you will be in. And you will, if you are that 5th additional subscriber, you will win the $30 gas gift card. I know we've been waiting for a while to get the numbers up. It's kind of stagnant a little bit, and I understand it's okay. So let's get more going. Look, guys, you're going to get a $30 gas card. It's literally good gas. It's not the cheapo gas stations that are out there. It's real good gas. So we will have that for you. Also, if we are at 250, we're at 250 followers on Twitter. Let's get the Twitter handle going to 500. If we can hit 500 by the end of 2024, you'll get a prize pack for the Sportz Nutz, which means you'll get a shirt. You may get a hat. You'll get a keychain. You'll get a car decal. And, folks, you might even get 2 tickets to a college football bowl game. Playoff game. We don't know yet. We're still determining on what to do. So you have a chance to get that. So I really highly recommend you guys hop on board. Let's get it going. All right, so let's give a quick shout out to our good friends at the South Carolina Ravens. Folks, they are a new and greatest arena football team that's coming to the state of South Carolina. So let's go check them out. As you guys have seen, we have had our good friend Andre Duncan, the owner and president of the South Carolina Ravens, has come on many times. He's come on again. So let's get them out there, cheer them on, and everything. Hey, also, I want to remind you guys, Friday, our good friend Shane Anderson The scouting director for the Alabama Beavers International Football Alliance team set to join us again and talk with updates on how everything is going in the land of the Alabama Beavers. Cannot wait to talk with him on that one. All right, guys, we are also working really close on getting this. Remember, folks, next Tuesday, a week from today, our good friend Brian Kajiyama is coming on, and I really want you guys to come on and check him out. It's going to be a great, fantastic episode with him. He is a great individual, very inspirational, great leader. You guys are going to really enjoy hearing him. I'm actually I'm waiting to hear a confirmation from our next guest, his secretary. We're trying to get it set that same week. We're trying to get the athletic director, Craig Angelos of the University of Hawaii, to come on. It will be only for about 30 minutes, so we will, obviously we're going to get it set up to have him come on. When he comes on, it's going to be a good conversation with him. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to ask him a lot of Mountain West Conference questions. We're going to ask him about the football team, the basketball team, men's and women's. We're going to talk about soccer, how they have a chance to win a national champion. We're also going to talk just about the baseball team. For those who are my Hawaii people, if you don't remember, the Les is actually getting a new turf for the baseball team. I'm looking forward to hearing that one. So stay tuned for that episode. Also, Nick Cellini, as you guys heard me, I mentioned it a little bit ago. He is actually going to be coming on November the 19th. Yes, our good friend Nick Cellini of 680 Fan will be coming on November the 19th. Cannot wait to have him on. Just a lot of excitement coming in, and cannot wait. Guys, I know you all are watching the election results. They're coming in left and right. We're not going to keep you guys much longer because I know it's a very important event in the U.S. history is the election. Obviously you elect what's going to happen on for the next set of people. So I know it's coming, guys. So it's okay. We're not going to be here much longer, but I wanted to touch on a couple little more stories that have come out. Guys, I don't know. I didn't say this picture, but I'm going to talk about it because it's pretty shocking what's going on, right? I sent this picture to Matt, and I don't know if there's full truth to it, but obviously there's has to be some sort of truth because it's being mentioned by radio and TV personalities up in Buffalo. Buffalo Bills rookie wide receiver Keon Coleman. Look, if you don't know who he is, remember, folks, he played for the Florida State Seminoles. Well, he is in the news, but, yes, he's a great player for Buffalo, but it's for what's going on in Tallahassee. He told, and this is what really breaks your heart, and also kind of tells you this could be a toxic environment. He has told high school recruits that he knows personally or indirectly not to go to Florida State, not to play for the football team. There's something going on with the program right now. That's pretty disheartening if you think about it. You want to obviously have your former star players who are playing professionally to help bring in the talent, right? You want them to be there to help you, and unfortunately, he's out there telling you how it is. No, you don't want to come. So that kind of tells there's something going on with Tallahassee. I can't really put my finger on it, but obviously they're 1-8. It's a really bad year going on with Florida State. Mike Norvell, he has a $61 million buyout. It's really high. I just don't know what's going on, Oh, it's a sad situation going on, and folks, I hate to say I told you so, but we knew what DJ Uiagalelei was going to do as far as he was going to be a bad player because he's just not a good player in general. He's never been a good player. and it's unfortunate. We saw that at Clemson. He was decent at Oregon State. He got too big for his britches, had too many cooks in the kitchen talking in his ear, and he said, go to Florida State. Goes to Florida State, and he has fallen flat on his face. Yeah, he's done for the year. It's okay. He's done for the year. He's done for his basically. Honestly think he'll be done for his career. I don't think he's gonna really do anything for the world of football, and the world's not gonna be hurting not having him there. So yeah, we'll see. We'll stay tuned for that one. All right. Real quickly, there was a story that came out: women's professional baseball. Yes, folks, there was. If you don't remember the movie A League of Their Own, it was a reason why is because they did have a professional women's baseball team in a league back then. It was to cover for the men who are drafted to play in World War II, to fight in World War II. So they had a women's professional baseball league. It was just to get people morale up, that kind of stuff, and say, look, we're still, the sports world's still here. And sports, as we've always said, they unite everybody. Well, in 2026, it is set to launch. They have 6 teams that are coming. Now, they have not told us exactly who the 6 teams are yet. One of them is believed to be a team in Oregon. That will be pretty interesting to see if that happens. One team is projected to be in LA. That's literally the only 2 they've shown. Now, there has been talks that there may be some teams over in the East Coast as well. So we'll see how that goes. Really excited for the possibility of professional women's baseball. Obviously, women's softball, there is a professional women's fast pitch softball league. They don't get paid a lot on right now. And that's pretty hard to think that they don't get paid a lot. I hate that. It's great. Look, softball is a great game to watch. My wife played softball. My daughter, Addison, plays softball. It's a lot of fun to watch. My wife will tell you, who actually is walking right in front of me right now. My wife will tell you softball is a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to be at. So we're excited for the possibility of a women's professional baseball team to come to existence. Now, Matt, I know you're here, but can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah,
okay. All right. So let me ask you this, Matt.
Okay.
You know the old saying, lightning can't strike twice?
I've heard of it a few times, yes.
What if I told you lightning can actually cause the end of a soccer game in the middle of a soccer game?
Ooh, yeah, could be devastating.
Well, there was a soccer match in Peru, and lightning bolt struck and killed a 34-year-old player and injured 4 others during a soccer game. Now, Matt, think about that for a second. And there's actual video. I'm not going to share the video because it's kind of like gruesome to watch. They're literally on the field. It strikes a player twice, and then you look, and every player just falls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like I had to like, and look, I'm kind of like stupid about this thing because I want to see if it was real. So I watched it multiple times. It's real. Thankfully, the other 4 did not get their lives taken. However, the one did get taken away in Peru, and it's pretty sad, And
yeah,
this goes to show, look, Mother Nature, she's going to win 100 out of 100 times. And if you don't believe it, proof is in the pudding right there, folks. And that is a bona fide Southern saying.
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
Game should have been called. Definitely should have been called.
Look, Matt, I've been a part of some really crazy games when I played. Okay, I've been in snow games. I've been in ice games. I've been in like monsoon kind of games. First off, that's actually kind of fun, but also gross when you're playing in a monsoon type kind of game where it's pouring so heavy the water is over your cleats on the field. Wow. The water's not draining fast enough. That's a weird feeling. And folks, if you don't know this, you do really need to change your socks like regularly in football. So think about it. You have water over your cleats. Your cleats are drenched, right? You're dumping your cleats out of water at halftime to put a pair of socks on to get drenched as you put them on. It's a real life thing. But I've played in some crazy crazy games, but I've never played in a game where you can get struck by lightning. It's just it's crazy to think about, right?
Unfortunate and crazy. It's just crazy, man. You don't think about that. That's one of the things you're not thinking about.
No, that's right. You're not thinking about it. All right, Matt. So I'm gonna ask you this, and then obviously we're coming close to time. Who is your surprise NBA team right now? Like, who are you like? Oh my God, this team is because they're doing XYZ good.
Right now the Cavaliers, man. Cavaliers are playing really, really, really good ball. They're playing good team ball. They're running. Even though Donovan Mitchell runs the show, there, man. They're playing. Mobley stepping up, making an ascension. That the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing really good ball.
Mhm.
Also, it's just with basketball. It's still too early, man. Usually about 20 games in, that's when teams start hitting their stride and the teams start separating from each other. Teams stay hover around 500 for the first 15, 20 games, and then that's when teams start taking off. So I have been impressed with the Cavaliers. Also, I've been impressed with ooh, you got some.
Don't leave OKC out, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to OKC, man. They're playing some really good ball. It's just the way these young teams are starting to play. Not only feature their star, but starting to get other players involved too, man, and having them, make names for themselves. As far as like with OKC, you got that Holmgren seems to be coming into his own, and you got the Williams kid starting to really come into his own as well. And they complement Shea Alexander really well. Um, the same like I mentioned about the players in Cleveland. So it's just teams that are drafting well. You're starting to see them reap the benefits of doing that, and teams that don't draft well, you're starting to see the them deal with the consequences.
That's right. I got a team that I'm really confused in. New York Knicks. They did all this offseason work, right? They got big names. They did like one of the biggest trades, right? And they're 500. They're a 500 team. Like, I know it's early. I don't understand. I'm not going to sit here and say the Knicks are out of the done. Forget about them, right? They're 3-3. They've only played 6 games, but they're 500, and they have such a elite scoring talent around them. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers, they haven't been good. Gosh, since LeBron played, right? With
That's
them,
LeBron.
they're 8. They're 8-0. And then you go look at the team like the New York Knicks, who have an extremely high payroll, a lot of electrifying talent. They're a 500 team. Like,
Yeah, man. I mean, it takes time to gel too. It takes time to gel.
Yeah.
You got that team was Jalen Brunson show, man. I mean, ball was in his hands. Now you added two pieces, two people that averaged close to 20 a game. So it's gonna happen, man. And they traded away some key pieces too. They traded away some key bench pieces. They traded away DiVincenzo. And they also got rid of Julius Randle. So this is taking some time, man, to kind of develop and get to where they need to be. Honestly, I think they might need to bring either Bridges or Anunoby off the bench. That's what they need to do, and get a real legit center so Cat can go back to playing power forward. But I think they're waiting for Mitchell Robinson to come back so they can slide Cat, and that's probably what they'll do. They'll probably send one of those guys to the bench.
Now, real quick on this one, I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to ask the fans the same question I asked you yesterday. If you could sit here and tell me 7 games into the season for both the Milwaukee Bucks and the Utah Jazz, you wouldn't think their record would be 1-6, would you?
Especially the Jazz. You can see the Jazz have a young team, so you can see that happen. That's not more of a surprise. But the Bucks, that is definitely a surprise when you're dealing with you have 2 Hall of Famers on your team with Giannis and Dame.
Yeah,
that's tough.
1-6, man. Like,
yeah, that's
how
bad.
is that even possible?
Not executing, man. Not executing. I think they'll get back on it. They'll make the playoffs. The Bucks will make the playoffs. It's just, man, they really need to get back on the same page big time.
Absolutely. All right, folks, this is the last question we're going to ask, and then Matt and I are going to wrap it up because, Matt's getting ready to go home. It is election night, and I know we don't want to take too much time away from you guys and a chance to watch it. All right, Matt. I proposed this question to you yesterday, and I want you to kind of dive deep into it. But I'm going to ask it again. True or false? Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. Honestly, when it comes to accolades and then comes to NBA teams, accolades, championships, you gotta give the nod to Tim Duncan. But I think when it comes to raw talent and you want to say I'm the best, like you put two players on the court, mano a mano, and you say I'm the best, I got to give it to Kevin Garnett, man. I give it to Kevin Garnett. But Tim Duncan had better teammates, better coaches, better supporting cast. Tim Duncan had everything needed. Remember, before Tim Duncan got drafted, the Spurs were a playoff team, a deep running playoff team. Dave Robinson got hurt one year and missed that season, and they ended up getting the first pick in the draft. And then so people tend to forget that. But Tim Duncan had a better supporting cast. Tim Duncan never really put up explosive scoring numbers as well. He didn't have to. I think
But he had that bank shot too, though. Remember
yeah,
that bank shot was amazing.
He did, but I look at Kevin Garnett as somebody all defensive team, defensive monster, the intensity, but also had better offensive player than Tim Duncan. So but Tim Duncan was very smart, and I think I've even heard Kevin Garnett say Tim was better than him too. So of course, when it comes to just talent, I got to give it to Garnett. But overall, yes, Tim Duncan probably will go down as the best power forward of all time.
All right. I think he will. I think he is the greatest in all time. I think he will go down to. All right. True or false? Karl Malone is the greatest athlete to never win a championship.
Ooh, I don't know, man. You got a lot of good athletes out there that have never won. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has Ken Griffey Jr. won?
Ooh, no, he actually has not.
I wouldn't say Ken Griffey. I like Ken Griffey Jr. I think he's a better athlete than Karl Malone. But maybe
Griffey Jr. was one of my favorite baseball players growing up. I actually still have his rookie card.
Yeah, look at NFL players. Look at Julio Jones. Look at Matt Ryan. You got a lot of athletes out there that haven't won, man.
Dan Marino.
I think Dan Marino's better than Karl Malone. So now if you want to talk just NBA, then Charles Barkley's up there with Charles Barkley's round of rebounds.
Barkley was a good one. Yeah, he was a really good one actually.
You got Patrick Ewing out there.
Yep.
Patrick Ewing was out there.
Mutombo.
Yeah, you got players, man. Vince Carter. Do you think Vince Carter had a better career than Karl Malone? That's a good one. Even look at his teammate John Stockton. John Stockton was a good player too. So you got a lot of good players that never won championships, man. But that's not taking anything away from them. I don't think Karl Malone was the best to ever not win. I got to go with Ken Griffey or Dan Marino, man.
Okay, all right, I got another one for you. Blank would be the best NBA coach, meaning who blank would be. If you put any name in there, they were a great player, phenomenal player. They would be, in your eyes, who would be? They would be the best coach if they were to go to the NBA. Who do you think it would be?
A player now, if they want to be a coach.
Player now, player who just finished playing, that kind of stuff.
I got to go with LeBron because of the stories you hear about how he memorizes the old other team's playbook, knows their plays, tells players on the other team what they're supposed to be running. And he's been doing that since he was a youngster, man. So I think LeBron will make a great coach if he wanted to do that. He doesn't have to. I don't think he probably will. I think he's more. I think he's going to go more the owner route as far as trying to own the team. But if I put a player that's turned into a coach, I would have to say LeBron will probably be the best one. But anybody other than LeBron, usually, man, the best coaches are the guys who weren't really all-star players.
That is true.
Look at Phil Jackson's and, look at
Chris Mullin. He was a decent player, but he wasn't a great player.
Yeah. So, you look at these guys, man, who obviously I think they'll have to be either somebody like a point guard or something like that, man. It's tough, man. But I think the best coaches are the guys who weren't those star athletes. They were the guys that got to sit with the coaches and not more. So, I don't know, man, but I would have to go with LeBron.
I'm going to say Steph Curry. Mainly because he's like the most Mr. Automatic I personally have ever gotten a chance to see. And you and I have watched baseball since we were knee high to a grasshopper kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what transpires when in like 3-4 years we don't see a LeBron, we don't see a Steph, we don't see a Paul George, we don't see an Embiid. It's going to be weird.
It's gonna be weird, man. But you got all these new kids coming in, man. That's one thing I don't like about the league now. Where it's going is too young, man. You got all these young kids coming in and they fizzle out. I mean, if you go back and look at who are all McDonald's high school All-Americans, you won't even recognize some of these names because they're not in the league anymore, and that's just 5 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's just I think it's oversaturated, and with a lot of the young kids, they don't have those 4-year college guys who are stars and they came in the league averaging 20, 25 a game. That just doesn't happen anymore. So man, it's gonna be interesting to see.
But again, never say never. Anybody can have anything can happen at any given time. Guys, just want to let you know, college basketball is back. Matt, I know you are getting excited. Who's the team you're ready to watch this year and why?
Oh, I want to see Duke and Rutgers, man. I mean, honestly, they got the two best freshmen in the country as far as, and I did see Cooper Flag letting them play. That Duke game, he looked very impressive. But the other freshman, Ron Knuppel, looked very impressive as well. He's a shooter. But also, I want to see Ace Bailey and Rutgers, man. What he does also with Dylan Harper up there, Ron Harper's son. I want to see what they can do as well. ACC is loaded with a bunch of freshmen. You got Derek Queen out in Maryland, who just had 25 and 20 in his debut. You have a lot of freshmen out there. The freshman from UGA, man, young kid, I can't remember his name right now, but he had 26 and 11. Big guy, freshman, UGA. So you got a lot of freshmen. This is probably going to be one of the best freshman class we've seen since the Derrick Rose class with OJ Mayo and Eric Gordon in that class, and Michael Beasley in that class, and did I say OJ? I think I said OJ Mayo.
Yeah, you say him.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Russell Westbrook was in that class too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, that's probably gonna be the best freshman class we've seen since then. So, man, it's gonna be a good college season.
Absolutely. And I cannot wait to get it going. All right, guys, it's been a great episode. We've bent your ear for 1 hour and 7 minutes. Real Cup updates. There are still polls that are open further west. They're closing, so just stay tuned if you're excited. If you want to ask us the results of what's going on in the election, I'm going to tell you no. Because, again, we don't talk politics on this show. There's enough of it on TV. We're not going to sit there and say XYZ is doing better than ABC. We're not telling you that.
Brendan, if you don't vote for my guy, we are not friends anymore.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
You know how it goes. We've been best friends all our whole life since birth. Oh, you don't want to vote who I vote for? We're no longer friends. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how politics go, man. That's how
it goes.
But yeah, most definitely.
All right, guys, real quick. You see this little sticker that goes right there, right? Going along, right? Go to our Facebook page. Get us 300 followers. We're almost there. We're 185. We need to get to 300 by the end of the year. Let's get it going. Twitter at the Sportz Nutz. We're at 250. We're halfway to Vegas. Let's get it going. Get to that 500 by the end of this year. You win the prize pack. I already told you what's in it. So we want to get you there. Go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe at the Sportz Nutz 176. Let's get to you have until the end of the year to help us get to 145. If you get us to that 145, you will win the $30 gas gift card. Yes.
Also, TikTok page is up, guys. It is at the Sportz Nutz. TikTok / the THE Sports SPORTZ Nuts NUTZ. New TikTok page because we're gonna put all our shorts and stuff out for you guys to see. We have some up already. More will be coming up this week, so check it out. Sorry, Brandon.
That's right. No. I look. We are everywhere, and folks, we're trying to get more platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We are on iHeartRadio. We're about to get on to Odyssey, and we're about to get on the SoundCloud and wherever else you can imagine. We're coming. Let's get it going. With that being said, guys, for my good friend, Mr. Matt Thomas right here, I am Brandon, and I say peace up, A-Town down. Why? It's the best city in the entire Southeast. Look, this team right here. By the way, Matt, what do you think about Bird Lady getting arrested?
About who?
Do you know who the Bird Lady is, right?
Yeah.
She got arrested.
This is news to me.
All right. So I know we're about to end, folks, but I got to quickly tell the story. Look, Bird Lady is a self-proclaimed diehard ATL fan, right? She dresses up like a Atlanta Falcon every game, right? Every home game, right?
Yeah.
Well, when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, she scammed people out of money, right? Saying that she was going to get them like all exclusive tailgating in Houston and get them like floor seats, a lot of things. So they paid her money, got like you're supposed to get all this stuff for buses and stuff, right? And it never came to deliver. However, there were people showing proof of the Bird Lady at the Super Bowl. She was interviewed by people who covered the Super Bowl, and she was there, but there was nothing. She'd taken all that money, nothing happened. Well, fast forward to this year, this past year, right? People for the Kansas City Chiefs fan base, including players, family members, paid a total of $14,500 to her to expect to have a once-in-a-lifetime tailgating experience for the Atlanta Falcons versus the Kansas City Chiefs. When they came to have it, it was, I was at the hospital, I'm on my way, I had an incident with the police, I got there, and there was no one there, yada, yada, yada. Wouldn't return the phone calls to the fans. She created a contract, Matt, that said she would give the money back, right? Well, she never gave the money back. She scammed people out of $14,500, and now there are like 15 stories that have come out that she is mentioning to that she is scammed. She also has a .org not-for-profit organization to help kids. That's how she's been kind of like laundering money as well. Folks, so far she has only been charged with one felony count of theft by deception. However, more charges are coming, and even racketeering and laundering charges are expected to come. She has now been ordered no bail. There is a possibility she has to pay back all her Social Security disability payments because she laundered that money as well. She has been banned by the Atlanta Falcons. The Equifax billboard that was inside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium that featured her has been removed. You're muted. Let's unmute you. Oh, you have to unmute yourself, Matt. Unmute your mic. There you go.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. So now you've heard the story about the Bird Lady. Yes, it's crazy. All right, Matt, what do you think? Pretty crazy, huh?
That is crazy, man. That is crazy, dude. I hope she gets what she deserves.
That's right. All right, guys. Again, peace up. A-Town down. ATL all the way. Matt, what do you tell people not to get done again?
Guys, please, for the love of everything holy, please do not get flagged.
That's right. Don't do something stupid. Look, we know what's coming up. It's holiday season's coming up. As you see the tree behind, the beautiful tree, which I will post the other 7 trees, all the other 6 trees we have. We have 7 total. I'll post pictures when they're decorated. Don't do something stupid. We're not bailing you out of jail, okay? You know, just be smart. And just for the love of God, don't do something silly. All right, guys, we will talk to you again on Friday. Remember, Shane Anderson, Alabama Beaver, will be on the show. Until then, guys, y'all have a good night, and enjoy watching the election coverage. Bye. Well, he just did. He just scored 8 points. That's the thing. He had a career